Before we dive in, I want to give a big shout out to Whitney Allison for sponsoring today's episode. Tall girlies, we all know the struggle. Finding clothes that actually fit and look good on us is hard enough. So when it comes to something as essential as building a capsule wardrobe, it can feel frustrating and nearly impossible. But Whitney Allison is here to change that. They design timeless capsule collections made just for us with high quality pieces that are built to last and mix perfectly with anything in your closet. So no more compromising on style or fit. And with the holiday season coming up, now's the time to check out their vegan leather collection for fall at whitneyallison.com so you can dress how you're meant to dress. You'll find their website and socials linked in the description, and thank you again to Whitney Allison for sponsoring today's episode. Good morning, everybody. You are currently listening to a Tall Girls podcast hosted by a tall girl named India. I hope everyone who is tuning in today is doing super fantastic. Before I get into this episode, I do want to say, make sure you're following me on my socials at a Tall Girls podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest so that you can stay up to date on all of the latest podcast episodes and catch a glimpse of my everyday life. Also, feel free to leave me a review and let me know how tall you are. I'm genuinely curious. And I also have a monthly newsletter, which for Podmas is going to be weekly now. So make sure you subscribe to that. Everything is going to be linked in the description. Happy Thanksgiving! It's honestly so amazing that I at least know every single year I release an episode on Thanksgiving Day, which is so awesome. I hope you are enjoying your Thanksgiving weekend. Hopefully you're off from work. You better be low key because you need the rest. You need the rest. And whether you're cooking, whether you're staying in, whether you're going out, whatever it may be, I just hope that you genuinely are enjoying yourself and you acknowledge and know all of the things to be grateful for in your life. And this weekend is probably one of the periods, probably the peak period. It might be the peak period, or at least the start of officially going broke. Because with Thanksgiving weekend, it's Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, and people, I wouldn't say flock the stores. I don't think people are going to be flocking the stores, especially with the rise of online shopping, but people are going to be doing a lot of online shopping at least. And I wish I could hop on that bandwagon, but I can't because I had a major repair on my car that cost me quite a few $100s. So we'll be keeping our money in our pockets this year. But even aside from that, even if you didn't have major purchases before this time, this weekend, a lot of us are really just feeling the effects of the economy right now, like where a lot of the cost of a lot of things have gone up, including food, groceries, basic necessities. And because of inflation and a lot of financial hardships that people are going through, people are looking to save money on gifts, tech, and you guessed it, clothing. Do you remember back in the early 2000s where they would have the Black Friday doorbusters where everyone would basically be fighting each other in Walmart and Victoria's Secret and Pink, a lot of major stores trying to get the deals because things are 60 to 80% off. But nowadays the Black Friday deals just aren't what they were back then. Now it's like 20, 30, 40% off. And a lot of people are not having it, which is understandable because the price of everything is just so expensive nowadays that it's either a thing of we want to save a lot of money or we're just not going to spend it at all. And those big 60 to 80% off deals aren't happening at the major stores anymore. But you want to know where those big 60 to 80% off deals are occurring? Fast fashion retailers. And that's the topic of today's episode. If you didn't know, fast fashion is basically a business model in the fashion industry that focuses on rapidly producing high volumes of trending clothing at low costs. It's pretty much designed to quickly bring runway-inspired styles to the consumer market, often within weeks, making fashion more affordable and accessible. Some of the key characteristics include low costs, high speed, short life cycle, mass production, and being trend driven. Some fast fashion retailers, both online and in person, include Zara, H&M, Forever 21, Pretty Little Thing, and you guessed it, Shein. which we're gonna dive deeper into right now. If you didn't know, Shein is a global online fast fashion retailer based in China, known for selling trendy clothing at very low prices, primarily targeting women's apparel. It's gained its popularity around, I would say, the early 2020s, so like 2020, 2021, basically around the time of the pandemic, due to its massive product variety and ultra low prices, as well as leveraging social media marketing and influencer collaborations. Low-key, TikTok really blew up Shein, especially during lockdown. Like every time you would open that app, you would see 20 million Shein hauls, and they would have these big boxes. And you know how, well, if you ordered from Shein, essentially, Shein puts their clothes in like each of their clothing items in individual little baggies. So basically, when you look at these massive Shein hauls, you would see a box full of a lot of individual Shein baggies that have clothing in them. That was honestly what convinced so many people looking at TikTok to do massive Shein hauls of their own. And you would watch these $500, $700, $800, $1,000 Shein hauls and think, oh, like, that's so cool. I want to do, I'm not saying that you in particular, but that's what a lot of people were saying to themselves. Oh, I want to get that much stuff. Let me go get it from Shein, because prices literally start like as low as $1 on that app. $1, $2, $3. Like they're really inexpensive, very low prices. However, eventually Shein faced significant backlash over allegations of labor exploitation and child labor, environmental harm, having chemicals in their clothing, and even intellectual property theft, which ultimately just tarnished their reputation. Shein also struggled with sustainability criticism because their business model really just relies on overproduction and disposability, with its cheap fabrics causing many people to eventually stop buying from there. So I'm just going to include this quick video of the whole Shein rise and downfall.
Shein is one of the largest fast fashion companies in the world and has a production speed of about 14 days with 10,000 new garments weekly. But Shein isn't the only one a part of the fast fashion industry. More well-known companies like H&M, Forever 21, and Gap also fall under this category. But in no time, Shein has become one of the leading companies for faster fashion and holds 28% of the market share. And it's probably over the fact that the brand undercuts rivals and their prices and uses aggressive social media marketing to win over young consumers. And when we say it's aggressive, it's extremely aggressive. On average, the company runs about 600 ads at a time, and 67% of Shein's customers are from social media. Of that 67%, 57 of them are Gen Z. So it pretty much sounds like Shein has everything figured out and what capitalizes their growth. With unbeatable prices and influencers promoting their products, it's no surprise that people are quick to hop on the trending train and shop from them. You can't deny the fact that Shein has completely changed the e-commerce world, but it all seems a little bit too good to be true.
This is why Shein is the best. They pay their workers as little as 4 cents per item and make them work up to 18-hour days. So their items are super affordable. Shein has the best designs, and that is because they simply steal from small businesses. Shein adds up to 2,000 new items to their website every day, so they always have the trendiest stuff because they don't care about perpetuating throwaway fashion culture and have no regard for their impact on the planet.
Now that you know about Shein, did you know that Shein has a tall section? Yes, Shein's trying to be for the tall girlies, but with poor quality, mixed reviews on fit and length, and apparently limited tall options, we have to question if Shein is actually for the tall girlies. And of course I have to ask, have you ever bought tall clothing from Shein? And fun fact, I actually asked you guys in a poll, and I will say, if you want to participate, this is something I literally just started doing, but if you want to participate in these polls and have your opinion heard on these episodes, make sure you follow me on Instagram so you can participate in them. But I did ask you guys in a poll if you knew that Shein sells tall sizes, and actually 73% of you said, yeah, you knew that Shein sells tall sizes, but you don't trust it. 12% said, yep, I'm here for it, and 15% of y'all said y'all didn't know that. And funnily enough, I think I ordered literally a whopping 2 items from Shein, and this was like years and years ago. I got a jumpsuit from there. Surprisingly enough, it was like okay quality, and it was long enough, which was pretty cool. I didn't expect that at all, and that wasn't even from the tall section. And then I got a shirt from there as well. It was just like a button-up shirt, like a cropped button-up shirt, whatever. And I literally burned a hole through it when trying to iron it. Yeah, the iron wasn't even on that high of heat. So that's how you know that shirt was basically paper quality. Many of them are saying, yeah, Shein tall is long enough. The fit and length is long and is good. And others are providing disclaimers actually to read the reviews before you make your decision. Honestly suggesting that Shein tall can be a hit or miss. And of course, we cannot forget about the serious allegations, including child labor, copyright infringement, among other things. Let's listen to this clip really quickly to learn more about the allegations towards Shein.
Shein is the biggest fast fashion retailer worldwide. They use a lot of synthetic fabrics like polyester and nylon, which can take between 30 and 200 years to decompose. But still, their low prices does not change the cost of these materials, meaning that the money has to come from somewhere else, like their workers' wages. An investigation at one of their factories revealed that their workers receive a base salary of roughly £430 a month, with up to 18-hour working days and 1 day off a month. Much of the popularity of Shein is based on the large amount of options that they have on their site. They produce clothes at a quicker speed than the planet can handle, and they currently have 600,000 different items in stock, while adding from 700 to 2,000 new items every day. This promotes excessive consumption and leads to textile waste. And it also means that their workers are expected to make around 500 items a day. And as if all of this is not a good enough reason to stop shopping at Shein for good, Shein also constantly steals from small businesses, artists, and designers without any credit or form of payment. They plagiarize designs that likely took months to work on, and they sell it for little to nothing. So Shein doesn't just negatively impact our planet and the workers, they are affecting the entirety of the fashion industry because it's very difficult to compete with a brand selling similar products for a fraction of the price. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is.
And it's not just Shein that is problematic and also providing tall clothing sizes. There are also a lot of other fast fashion retailers that are starting to cater towards tall women and even starting to have literal designated tall sections on their sites, and honestly really just fueling the overconsumption and overspending habits. Yes, we can't talk about fast fashion without talking about overconsumption. Many tall women often overconsume because we feel the need to buy all the tall clothing we can out of fear that when it's gone we will never be able to find it again, which I discussed in another episode. So in places like Pretty Little Thing, Boohoo, and apparently Temu, yes, Temu, are pushing these trendy and low quality pieces that are labeled tall at such a fast rate. They're just making this overconsumption problem worse. It's not about solving the problem of lack of options for tall women. It's really about selling us clothes that we don't actually need. I just want to say I am not trying to tell you whether you should or shouldn't shop from there. Like the fast fashion retailers, I am providing my opinion. I'm thinking, okay, we should try to stray away from that, but I get it, okay? I also shop occasionally from fast fashion retailers as well because it's a major thing with affordability. We can't always afford the clothing items that we know that we should be buying, especially with the cost of living going up nowadays. I get it, I understand. But I'm just saying that when we're thinking about shopping from these fast fashion retailers, especially from the tall section, we should be thinking about two things. Number one, the problems with the retailers themselves, all the allegations going on involving them, okay, with the low quality, the labor issues, all of that stuff. We should be thinking about that. But then we should also be thinking about if these products are actually tall girl friendly and of good quality. Not all tall collections are created equal, okay? Some simply just add a few extra inches to inseam, probably not even inches, like 1 inch. They may even add just 1 inch, 1 or 2 inches to inseams and sleeves and dresses without actually properly addressing proportions or fit. So this can result in clothing it just doesn't fit well. It fits weirdly. Like how I said in another episode, the crotch length is too long, but hey, that's what makes it tall. It's just so weird. That was just so weird. But this can result in clothing that doesn't fit well, is poorly constructed, and that's why it's important to just look at reviews and measurements before purchasing. And what I like to say to myself is if they don't have a measurement on there and I don't know for sure, The length, I am not getting it. And that is ultimately what helps me with my overconsumption problem as a tall girl. If I don't see any measurements, if I don't know for sure what the length is, then I am not purchasing it because I am not putting myself through that stress. So that's all I'm saying. Before you shop from these fast fashion retailers, especially their tall sections, make sure you think about those two things: the problems and the allegations with them, and if these items are actually tall girl friendly and will last you a long time. And honestly, it's not just the issue of overconsumption and overspending with these fast fashion retailers. There are other major problems. I also wanted to cover myself and say that all of the things that I'm saying about these fast fashion retailers are all alleged, or what they said specifically on the internet themselves. Okay. I don't want to get into trouble for anything because you never know. So once again, the things that I'm saying about these fast fashion retailers are alleged, or the brands themselves have come out to the public on the internet and have said it themselves. Like Pretty Little Thing deactivating accounts due to high amounts of returns, Temu having high amounts of toxic chemicals and products, and Boohoo having a poor track record of protecting workers' rights and breaking a lot of promises, which is honestly so embarrassing. And honestly, especially on Reddit, tall women are discussing how tall items from these fast fashion retailers fit weirdly, have poor quality, and aren't even long enough or tall friendly. I asked you guys in a poll if you've ever shopped tall from fast fashion retailers. 48% of you said I do occasionally, and that's going to be including me because I also occasionally shop tall from fast fashion retailers. 28% of you said yes most of the time, and 24% of you said not at all. For the 24% of you guys that said not at all, please let me know, let us know, put in the comments, put wherever, send me a DM. Let us know where you're shopping from. Now that we know all of this about fast fashion and people are trying to make a lot of people are trying to make some effort to stop shopping from there, we now see the rise of another issue, and that's TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop is a feature within the TikTok app that allows sellers and affiliates to sell products directly to users through in-feed videos, live streams, and a dedicated showcase tab, which can honestly be appealing for some because people can literally just purchase items seen in the content that they're watching. But apparently TikTok Shop has issues of its own. Let's listen to this clip.
If you have ever considered buying skincare or makeup on the TikTok Shop, this is literally your sign not to. You are putting fake products onto your skin, into your mouth, around your eyes. Literally, this is so incredibly toxic. Before I show you the literally terrifying things that I found in the skincare category, a lot of people say, oh, it's not actually fake, it's just discounted because TikTok is trying to incentivize you to basically shop in the app. So they're just discounting it at first. No, sorry, do you think an Anita Bing hoodie under any world is $24.87 or $20.66? No, these hoodies are like $200. This is fake. I could go on and on, but do we think that an Aviator Nation hat is $22.99? No. So if this is obviously fake, why is your skincare and your makeup that you're buying and putting literally onto your body not fake? It's fake. So as one does, I did a little bit of digging and I go to Drunk Elephant, Miss Jen Alpha's favorite skincare brand in the entire world. And I'm like, $16.88, $18. Like, this is not right. So I click on the product itself. Looks pretty legit from here. I mean, obviously other than the price, but like so far so good. So right here is where we get into our first red flag. This is in the description. It says shipped by seller. You've got to look out for this. Anything shipped by seller, that is not correct. Who's this girl, Donna? Why does she have a bunch of Drunk Elephant? No, because this is where things are insane. This is in the description of the product. It literally says, first of all, its ingredients are quite suffocating. It contains 9 kinds of acetone, which can brighten the skin tone and tighten the skin. After using it, the skin will be more shiny. You guys are seriously buying this and you're trying to convince me that it's real and then it's just discounted. It is not. This is the worst thing in the entire world. This is such a scam and it can be so toxic for you. Anyway, share this video with anyone who would need it. If you want, I can go through and find like insane descriptions on the TikTok Shop because I had way too much fun with this, but for now, love you.
And the way that you'll know that a video is promoting an item from TikTok shop is it's going to have a little icon at the bottom that I think is like a little shopping cart. If you're watching the video version of this, I'm going to include a picture of it on the screen. I believe it's a little shopping cart that has a yellowish rectangle behind it. And TikTok honestly knows that I'm tall because lately I've been seeing this influx of whenever I open my TikTok app, at some point in time, whether it's the first video or a third or fourth video, when I'm scrolling through, I've been seeing so many tall girl friendly items, like videos showing tall girl friendly items. I'm putting this in air quotes right now, quote unquote, tall girl friendly clothing items on TikTok shop. I'm seeing a lot of videos where some tall women are essentially trying to sell items on TikTok shop and sell them as tall girl friendly. Social media is making it so difficult for tall women to find actual good recommendations for tall clothing, especially with the rise of TikTok shop. And this is excluding all of the tall girl brands out there, of course. But this is because of the overuse of the term tall girl friendly, which is what quite a few shorter and average height girls are using nowadays to describe their clothing. I feel like the term tall girl friendly has been used so much that it's lost all of its meaning, especially because nowadays it's used by women who aren't even tall to describe their clothing. Like, just because you're 5'5" and your pants happen to be dragging on the floor, that doesn't mean it's tall girl friendly. I hate to break it to you. But now when I'm opening my TikTok app, every other video, every couple of videos, I'm just constantly seeing, yeah, tall girl friendly pants from TikTok shop, tall girl friendly jacket from TikTok shop, tall girl friendly this, tall girl friendly that on TikTok shop. And I'm just sitting here like, this is too much because number one, these are also potentially still coming from fast fashion retailers and or drop shipping companies that are problematic. So number one, let's keep that in mind. But also, we still need to talk about proportions. Like, where are the measurements? Where are the inseams, sleeve lengths? Like, I need numbers. Like, and then on top of that, a lot of them are around 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", maybe even 5'11". They're on the shorter end of tall. Can we actually trust that clothing from TikTok shop is tall girl friendly? I don't know. It's hard to tell, especially with a bunch of issues regarding TikTok shop, like scams, products not being delivered, and poor quality. I just wanted to talk about the role that influencers and content creators play in the popularity of fast fashion retailers. It's no doubt that social media and these try-on hauls that these influencers and content creators are having play a big role in their popularity and influencing people to buy from them. So I wanted to touch a little bit on the role of tall influencers and tall content creators and how they shape the shopping habits of tall women, especially when it comes to clothing from fast fashion retailers. So as tall women, when we're going on social media, when we're looking online and we're looking for reviews and hauls and try-ons and so forth, we're going to be looking for the tall women trying them on. And when we see them, they talk about how, oh, it's a struggle to find tall clothing. I struggle so much trying to find clothing that fits my length. They basically bring up all of our pain points in the video. And they say, here is the tall friendly solution. So automatically we have that trust with them because it's like they understand our pain points. They understand us. So they must know the answer. This must be the answer because it worked. If it worked for them, it can work for me. It could work for us. But that's not always the case. There's so much more to think about. If we're just thinking about in terms of our height and of our length, it depends on the proportions of the person that's actually creating this content that's in that video that you're watching. They can be on the shorter end of the tall spectrum. They could be 5'8", 5'9". Their dimensions is going to be so much more different than yours. They can have longer legs than you. They can have a longer torso. They can have shorter torso. They can have shorter legs than you, but still say, oh, it's tall friendly. A lot of these content creators, not all, okay, some of them, I'll say some of them don't even say how tall they are, but they say, oh, it's tall friendly. What? And then on top of that, we also have to think about the quality. Is it actually good quality? Is it actually durable? Is it actually going to last us a very long time? So then when we go and purchase these items from them and it doesn't work for us, if it doesn't work for us, let's say it's not long enough, it's not actually tall girl friendly, the quality is bad, whatever it is, then we return it. Then we buy something else hoping it's tall girl friendly. Oh, it doesn't work, then return it. And then it's an ongoing cycle where we're wasting our money, we're wasting our time, and ultimately harming the planet. And it's feeding into our overconsumption, our issues with overconsumption as tall women. So I'm saying this to say, make sure you do your research. Don't rely on that one or two, those two content creators, those tall creators or whatever. Always do your research and make sure that you know that it's going to fit you. Because a lot of these fast fashion retailers can be very deceptive when they're talking about clothing items being tall. And now that Thanksgiving weekend is here, happy Thanksgiving, by the way, I know that Black Friday sales are calling our names, especially for us tall girlies who are struggling to find clothing that fit our length. But let's rethink shopping from fast fashion brands that have tall marketing gimmicks. Instead, we can thrift or show our appreciation for our tall girl brands by supporting them. Make sure you comment some of them below. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate you. As always, feel free to hit me up and let me know your thoughts. Let's have a discussion about this. I want to know more about what you think about the tall clothing sections from fast fashion brands, and if you think that they're actually tall girl friendly, if they're actually of good quality. Have they worked for you? Have they not worked for you? If that wording is correct, just hit me up and let me know. And until then, happy Thanksgiving, and I'll catch you in the next one. Good night and goodbye.